Why do people walk away from God? It's because they don't know Him. They have this view of the living God as not a Lord, or not as the Lord, but they view Him as this wimpy, small God who um, just their view of Him is like He's always trying to figure things out, and that He's always wrong, or He's always doing the wrong thing, which is not true at all. You know, the Bible says that there is no knowledge, there is no wisdom, there is no understanding against the Lord. That's in Proverbs. I struggled with that thought for a long time, too long, and then I got over it. Because when I was in church up in Amsterdam, New York, I heard our pastor say that God is too intelligent to make a mistake. And that was the beginning of um, the oh yeah moment or aha moment. It's like, yeah, he really is too intelligent to make a mistake. And God is not going to ask for our advice. And some people think that, well, they should ask for God's advice. Let me tell you something. I am a control systems technician. I work in a paper mill, and I work on the complicated systems that people would just run away from. Alright? Right? I went to school for these things. It was attractive to me. I understood how it worked. So then I just pursued it. Now, when people see me, when they have a problem, they 9 out of 10 times, they will tell me what they think the problem really is. And it's actually quite funny because they'll just tell me, yeah, I think it has something to do with this. And I just say, okay. And then and you've already figured it out. You've already looked at you've already said to yourself, yeah, people who, these operators working on the press, they're gonna guess what the problem is, but they're wrong, and they're wrong because um, they just don't understand how the system works. It is amazing to me how like all the things that have to work in place just to get something to work correctly. Okay? Let me give you an example. There was one problem. I actually did some work for a company called GE, and when I was a service technician. Now, uh, I was getting used to working at this place, and it was good. I was the go-to guy to be at this one particular facility at GE. And GE is huge, by the way. It's massive, just amount of property just on for one campus. They had their own zip code. That's how big this place was. So, um, but anyway, I kept getting this one. They kept asking me, can you look at this problem again? Can you look at this problem again? Because what they had was a door was not opening when people would present their badge to the door, the card reader. And I looked at it, and I did absolutely everything I could think of. I looked in the manual, I swapped out, the card reader for one that I know was actually working. I proved that it actually worked. I traced out the wires. I even made sure the wires weren't broken at some point. And that's, in order to do that, you actually have to do what's called a continuity test, where you send a little signal through one wire, and then it comes back out the other side, and then it makes a beep. And that's how you know that the wire actually isn't broken somewhere. And so I tested the wires to make sure that they were okay, and all of them were okay. The wires for communication between the card reader and um, the the controller that opens the door. I tested everything. I was going berserk. I was going nuts, and I'm thinking to myself, what else could it be? And I started to develop a habit of saying 3 words, and this works every single time. Those aren't the 3 words, but these are the 3 words that I say are just, it just absolutely amazes me. And this is how I know that God is sovereign. And those are not the 3 words that I say, but they are part of this. I say the 3 words that I say when I get to a point where I'm totally stuck is I need, it's 4 words. I need your help. And it's 4 words, it's not 3 words. I need your help. When I'm working on these things, and I get to a point, and I start to, and God is my witness. As soon as I start to say, I need your help, God knows that I'm praying to Him, and I know this is so predictable. This is so predictable to me now. This is how my prayer gets answered. This is how I actually get recognition at my job. People say, you figured out something that we absolutely just could not. We've been working on this for months. How did you do it? And I said, and I give the glory back to God, and I said, all I do is I pray, and I say, God, I need your help. And then these suggestions come to me like that, out of nowhere. And then I look at this problem, and then boop, problem solved. Now, so to get back to the GE problem, and the customers thinking that they understand what the problem is, and they don't have a clue as to what they're talking about. There was only one thing that I knew that I had to check. I didn't check it before. See, you have the card reader, and then you have this little device that connects to the card reader, and then you connect your wires to it. What happens is that those wires, you have wires that provide power for the card reader, and then you have communication wires. Those communication wires are so sensitive. Now, if you have some kind of film that builds up, which a lot of these places do, these places are in the most filthy, dirty places you could ever discover on the earth. It's amazing how nasty some of these places can get. But anyway, when these card readers would get this grimy, filthy, nasty stuff start to build up on the communication terminals where the wires would go in, the card reader can't communicate. Can't do it. So we swapped out the connector, put a brand new one on, and then boom. And that was the suggestion that came to me after I exhausted every resource. because, you know, we got power, we got good continuity. I mean, we're getting everything but this one little thing, you know, and that's, you know, as soon as we did that, you know, that's all I did. I just put a new connector on because the suggestion came to me. Now, I get this all the time from people. The customer, 9 out of 10 times, will tell me that I think the problem is this, or I think the problem is that, and I think the problem is this, that, and the other thing. And I just gloss over it, and I don't make the customer feel dumb. I don't make them feel like they, you know, they're not, you know, worthy of thinking about, you know, what could possibly be the issue. But there were times when the customer actually argued with me and said, "No, you are wrong. I am right." And I knew the guy was a fool. And my understanding became very, very clear as to the incompetence of this one individual. And he just proceeded to argue with me. And he's the customer. He was in charge of everything. He says, "No, you are wrong, and I am right about this." And it was difficult for me to hear that. And I, you know, politely responded, "I don't believe you're right. I think you're trying to troubleshoot and solve the problem." But actually, I didn't say I don't think you're right. I think I had the appropriate thing to say to him, that you know, it may appear that this is the problem, but that's not true. This does not have any kind of control over the problem that you're having with me. And he proceeded to say, "No, you're wrong, and I am right." And I was completely blown away by this guy's lack of knowledge, his incompetence, and his pride to say, "I am right, and you are wrong." This is how people view God. This is how people judge him. They judge him with a lack of knowledge, with a lack of understanding. You show yourself to be completely stupid when you think that you've developed this clear understanding as to, "I understand God, and God is you know, a wimpy God, and that he is you know, and that I am this great person, and that I could be, you know, all powerful." When you start putting yourself on the throne of God and you assume the responsibilities of God, then you start to get really, really, really stressed out, because you are not designed to sit on the omnipotent throne. You are not designed to have full control. Control is an illusion. It really is. And it's really just something that we're not designed to have. God does not want control. He has all of it. And so when you put it in that perspective, I'm not saying God is like, "Oh, I have all this power and I don't want." No, that's not what he's thinking. He has all this power, and he's the only one who can do it. He's the only one who can sit around and make judgments and use clear wisdom and give wisdom to people. I remember I read it in Exodus, how when they were going to build the tabernacle, it says God said that I filled this 2 people with wisdom at how to work with gold and silver and all the good works like that. And guys, I'm running out of time for this video, so God cares for you. Trust him. Maybe I'll make another video about this. So All right, I'll make another video. I'll see you on the next one.